In the wake of the aftermath of this battle, you actually hear the distant sound of violence that is floating through the window of the tavern, and the light of flames in the distance from buildings that have been set ablaze spill into the windows of the rack as you stand in the wake of this battle in awash in blood. Nerissa and Liam both have bad slashes to their sides.
Liam is immediately going to run over to the window, kind of kicking
Cassian.
out. Cassian is going to run over to the window, kind of kicking the table out of the way as he looks out the window, trying to see any more threats.
Cassian, you see Greenest in flames. People are running through the streets. There is more outside. There's a lot more. You see the entire town is under attack. It's not just been your tavern.
We got to get out of here. He quickly turns around and runs over to the door and bangs on it. Celine!
Ah! You hear a muffled, hold on, 1 second. And then a jostling of the door as it opens up and she peeks outside at you. Boss, oh my god! And she looks and sees all the bodies.
He's going to look at her and kind of nod. I know. We have to get everybody out of here. We can take the back entrance. Greenest is... It's gone.
What? What? No! It can't be gone. What about the Lord? What about the Marquis? What about all those people?
I don't know. He's gonna, hold up his hands. We just have to get away. We'll hide in the fields. We can come back later when everything has died down. Perhaps the Lord will have summoned his barracks.
Cassian. And she reaches out. She grabs you. We need to get to the keep. We need to get to Night Hill Keep. It's the only place. And as she says that, Cassian, you do know that. I mean, you can try and hide the fields, but there's really no protection other than the keep at the center of town.
Okay, understood. Pack everything you need. Get those two ready. He kind of points back to the villagers behind her.
The farmer that was cowering at the end, he stands up. He says, "We're with you, Cassian. I just don't want to die. I gotta go to my family."
Well, get your family. It'll be all right. He's going to turn around to acknowledge Liam and the two strangers.
Yeah. As Cassian's having this exchange with Celine, the camera's going to pan to the three of them standing over the body of this acolyte. And, of course, the body of the unfortunate Abram, who is his throat is opened and his face is milk white and pale.
Do I know where Armathor is stationed outside of town?
He's somewhere on the outskirts of town. You didn't want him to get too close to attract attention, so he decided to stay on the outskirts of town with your elk.
Right. I would know how to find him, though, right?
Yeah. You know in your heart that Armathor would never leave you.
Yeah. I'll say to everyone, I have a friend outside of town. We could stay with him. It'd be safe.
After Nerissa is done panting from the sheer exhaustion of having fought, she's standing very stock still, and that constant ringing of the bell suddenly instills in her a fear that she hasn't felt since she was a child. And she suddenly snaps, and to Onwin, and she says, "No, we're not running. We need to get to the keep. We need to get to the marquee."
Kind of shocked that you kind of just snap, and I little snippy. I reply with, "Are you foolish? I said we could be safe. It's on the outside of town. We can't defeat all them."
Selene emerges from the back with the other farmers, and the other farmers, they look terrified, but they're saying, "But what about our families? What about Greenest?"
There's no hope for those.
The Marquis will have gathered his men. They'll be able to fight back against these. We can't leave. I can't leave. Go
No
if
men
you
can
want to.
stop this.
Well, I'm not a man then.
I kind of sneer, and like, kind of thinking it over. I don't want to leave because being alone is stupid, but I feel like staying here is also dumb. Be like, fine, it's our funeral then, but we must take the cultists with us.
Well, that having been said, you are here for revenge. These are the guys.
Yeah, that, and I wanted to get information, which is why I knocked that guy out, and I wanted to go to the outskirts of town to interrogate him.
Mm-hmm.
Which was my thinking there. And I don't want to leave Abathor behind.
So what is Liam doing?
Liam is trying to patch himself up as best he can, and if anyone bothers looking, his clothes appear immaculate. There's no bloodstains on them. I didn't think it was necessary to actually
but that's a nice touch.
cast the prestidigitation, but
Nice.
Look, Cassian has already jumped behind the bar, and it seems as though he's gathering some things before he stands up, and he's now acquired a one-handed crossbow and a small pouch of bolts before he storms off into the back. You can hear the door kind of slamming open.
I'm going to move up to this cultist and begin to kind of have him under... Like, I'm going to try to pick him up and begin to move him.
Okay.
I'm also going to start searching bodies.
All right, Liam, as you move around searching the corpses, you see that most of the cultists are, they're armed, and they're wearing dragon-themed robes that are mostly black. They don't seem to have any gold on them or any coin or anything, though. They've just got basic weapons. The acolyte has a club, or the acolytes have clubs. The cultists were wielding scimitars.
Nothing of real value.
No, not really. I mean, the black robes they were wearing amounts to leather armor, but that's about it.
And no paperwork or anything, no notes or letters.
No, but you see on the inside of... Actually, no. Make an investigation roll.
Okay.
Okay. You don't notice anything other
Nope.
than... yeah, they just don't have anything of value.
Well, Nerissa would probably be searching at least one of the nearby bodies for something of use. Maybe an extra weapon.
Oh, there's scimitars everywhere, and in fact, you left your dagger in the eye of the acolyte near the southern entrance.
Oh, yeah. In that case, yeah, she's going to head back over to that acolyte, and she's going to, with, like, one of her boots planted on his face, just, like, pull the thing out because it got stuck in there real good.
All right, camera
And
shifts to
she's going to
Cassian.
casually... Oh, sorry. She's going to casually
all
wipe
right.
the blood off.
It's right around this time that Cassian emerges back into the main room of the inn. It seems as though he's gathered a lot of supplies, as now he's wearing his armor, and he has a sack full of his things, as well as a very interesting box that he's kind of got underneath his arm. He has weapons at his sides and on his back. Particularly a very large trident that he's holding in his main hand. Are we ready?
I will when someone helps me with him.
Cassian looks over and he sets his stuff down just next to the corner of the bar before he walks over. You actually plan to take him with us?
We must know why they came here. We need answers.
We know why. They're fucking insane.
More than that.
Very well. Fine. He looks up at Nerissa. Help him with this.
Fine.
Cassian walks over to Liam. Are you sure you're okay? Do you need...
I will live. But brother, this is not what I wanted. I am sorry.
It's not over yet. I'm sure once we get to the keep, the Lord will have plans to reimburse the villagers, fix the town up. It'll be all right. He slaps a hand on your shoulder. He quickly runs and kind of jaunts back over to pick up his stuff before he makes his way back towards the front door. He's gonna kind of creak it open just a little bit to try and see outside and see if it's clear.
You see the street outside is clear for the moment, although you see many buildings across Greenest have already gone up in flames. There's a dim light that accompanies the moon and stars overhead from all the fires that have been lit, and you hear this the screaming of people, of all these innocent people in Greenest, people running for their lives, begging for mercy, and sounds of pitched combat.
He's going to look back to Celine and the rest of the villagers. We have to stay out off the main road. Keep to the side. Try to stay low.
Camera shifts to Anwin and Nerissa.
I'll if she starts helping me, I'll kind of look to her and say, like, trust me, keeping him around will be worth it. We must know more.
If you say so. I don't doubt we're going to get anything out of these rambling fools.
If we don't,
Religious
then he dies.
fanatics and all that. Yeah, I'm all for that. Still a lot of dead weight to be lugging around. Doesn't even have anything on him. It's worth anything.
All right, so you guys move him towards the door.
Yeah.
As I see them carrying the cultist, I'll turn and look at them both. If you insist on bringing him with, do it the easy way. And I'm going to cast Floating Disc.
Okay, go ahead and describe that and what happens.
So, what is it? Yeah, so a 3-foot, basically giant frisbee appears next to Nerissa at about knee height, and knee height? Yeah, 3 feet above the ground. So, and it's as if a mirror is floating in the air. Put him on that.
Nerissa,
Oh,
you
gladly.
see this half-orc just conjure this folded space of extraplanar magic.
That's pretty handy. Yeah, and she, none too gently, kind of swings him and throws him
kinda throw him
onto
up
the
there.
disc. Yep.
Yeah, the floating disc easily supports him.
Huh. That's not going to draw any attention.
I'll look at Liam and give him a nod, like, not bad, half-orc.
With a quick glance, Cassian's going to look back. Is that your horse, Liam?
Aye. Is it still actually there? Is it?
Yeah, it's still there.
Oh, okay.
It's very upset and nervous from all the fires and the screaming, but nobody seems to have targeted it.
We'll take that with us.
Everyone is going to move outside.
Yes. Cassian is going to be the first to open the door and slowly step out. And when he sees the coast is clear, he's going to start motioning for the rest of them to follow.
All right, does everybody come after?
Yes.
Yeah, after she grabs her pack from underneath the table, which she had originally been stationed at, she goes to follow.
Yeah, I've assumed I have my backpack and everything in it.
All right, so with that, we are going to switch scene. As everyone steps outside. Second. As you step out into the night, you see that the streets... Give you a second to load up. You see that the streets are fairly clear, at least for now, but you see dark figures and shadows running everywhere. But before anyone can do anything, as you walk out into the streets of Greenest, and you see all these buildings lit by flames, a cry overhead, more like a bellow, draws your attention as you look up and you see a figure coalescing out of the darkness up high in the sky, a great winged figure that is flying overhead and unleashing torrents of thunderous electricity that suddenly lights up the entire town every time it opens its great maw to strike a building with a flood of lightning. You see that a blue dragon, a great blue dragon, and you recognize this dragon, Anwahin, as Lenithon, the dragon that had destroyed your people, circling, wheeling overhead, terrorizing all others. What does everyone do as they see the dragon overhead?
I guess as I see that pretty much my arch nemesis, the thing that destroyed everything I've known, seemingly the reality that I'm in and my past seem to be happening like in my head at the same time. I'm getting like vivid flashbacks of this same dragon destroying my village, and it currently destroying this one, and I'm just shocked and awed that it's back.
Cassian's eyes are wide as he's looking up at this thing flying overhead, making its passes on his hometown. As he's, God help us. We need to go. Run!
And what does Liam and Nerissa do?
Nerissa is, she's never seen such a frightening sight, and she can't help but just let out a small roar of anger. She's like, "Oh, come on! You mean these cultists actually have dragons helping them? That's not fair."
And quickly I'll respond, see, no man can stop them. Quickly, we must go to the outskirts. This keep won't hold.
You see, I should mention the dragon is not directly attacking the keep yet. He seems to be circling around the town, striking buildings and lighting them on fire or destroying them with his lightning breath.
Totally, yeah. I just know that stone isn't gonna stop it.
So the camera pans to Liam.
Gonna grab the horse, trying to calm it as much as I can, and follow behind the group.
You do have control of your horse token,
Okay.
Liam. So in order to ride it, you just place your token like that, and then click and drag to select both of the tokens together.
Oh, okay.
So before you can make much movement, distracted by the dragon as you are, you see two people, well actually several figures, running up the street from this direction towards you. And as you do so, you hear them scream out, "Someone help us! Someone help us!"
Where are they?
Heading in this direction, you actually recognize them, Cassian. You know them as Leanin and Cuth Swift, and they have their 3 young children with them who can barely keep up. You see that Cuth Swift, one of the local guards, he looks grievously injured. He looks like his face is pale. He's got a stab wound to his gut, and he's limping. Leanin, she is carrying a shield and trying to carry her family along. And you watch with horror. We'll get reactions before moving on with the scene all around as they see the Swifts running towards them.
Does Cassian see anybody behind them chasing them?
Yes, you do. You see a large group.
Okay, the second he sees them, Cassian is going to run over to Liam. "I need your horse!" And he's going to actually just use that as a precursor to his. As soon as he says that, he's already on top of the horse.
I release the reins. I trust Cassian, so.
And he's already turning the horse around, and he has his trident in hand as he begins. Shah!
All right. And as Cassian does that, what do Anwahin and Nerissa and Liam do? And like I said, you've just got like seconds to react. So this is.
Yeah, Nerissa kind of watches in awe as Cassian mounts that horse and just kind of charges for that group of unknown that is trailing this poor family, and she kind of steps forward, kind of emboldened to help them.
Anwahin, Liam.
I think I'm and they're down here, you said? The other people chasing them, like the group of cultists?
Yeah. Like I said, you've got like maybe 2 seconds. So just describe what your character is doing and like thinking.
Okay. So I can't like cast anything is what I'm getting
No.
at here?
There's no action. This is just role play, just description.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm thinking to myself, basically, we need to buy time. Like, we don't have a lot of time, and we need to get out of here. So I'm thinking we must make for the outskirts. There's no time. I'll hold them off.
Liam is moving into the road and preparing to cast a another ice knife, intending to try and injure as many cultists that are as close together as he can.
And just as you reach the Swifts, Cassian, you see the mob coming after them. You see these enormous drake-like creatures that these two cultists are spearheading this group. They're riding them and leading them onward as they're shouting and yelling for Tiamat, as you see these vicious draconic pets that they are riding. They're not quite dragons themselves, but they are large lizard-like creatures. And there's a mob of them headed in your direction, and they are clearly chasing the Swifts, who, I mean, they can't move. They can't run fast enough. Their children are too small. And as you near them, Cassian, at the worst moment, suddenly, all of you hear something. You see from the fields to the north, charging out of the tall grasses, an enormous lion. This thing is huge, enormous, majestic, and regal. I mean, it just charges and leaps and plants itself directly between the Swifts and the rest of you, and growls, snarling at the cultists, who reel back as Armathor draws himself up to his full height and stands between you and the other cultists. And it calls out, the lion talks. It calls out in a deep rumbling voice in Elvish, for anyone who understands Elvish. Revenge! Everyone roll initiative.
Remember, you actually have to click on your token to select it.
Oh, right. Arthur's so fucking cool.
So pumped right now. This fucking lion.
Alright, time to roll initiative for everyone. Kudos, by the way, to Roll20 for making this as painless as possible. This would be a nightmare to roll all this initiative normally.
Yeah.
Yeah, their system's awesome.
Alright, everyone. Anwahin, you begin the battle at the top of the order. However, before you do, you see a magnificent riding elk that is also following on the heels of Armathor out of the fields. And I'm going to be assigning that to you.
Alrighty.
Alright, so on Russell, you should have control of your riding elk now. Go ahead and take your turn.
Yep. Alright, then after Armathor comes barreling through, I'm re-inspired with my to kill all these cultists, so I'm going to cast Fairy Fire, and I think I can hit all of them. It's a 20-foot cube.
Depending on where the spell is centered, you could hit all of them, yes.
Yeah, so I'll center it on basically the middle guy, and I'll cast Fairy Fire, and how that looks is that I'll kind of raise my staff up, and I'll begin to shake it, and this puff of purple like pores start pouring out of it, and they're gonna fall on top of these guys.
Wow, so everyone, all of these cultists, their ambush drakes included, they all light up with Fairy Fire. They've all got to make Dex saving throws.
Yeah. It's 14 is the spell save DC.
Alright, so I'm not rolling a million Dex saving throws, so I'm just going to make one throw for each of them, each type of creature. And we'll see. Because I just want to, expedite the process. Okay, no, they fail.
Even on advantage, they fail.
Yeah. What's your DC for your casting, Anwin?
14.
14, they fail. And the ambush drakes fail. Okay, so they all light up with fairy fire. They are all bright and... Wow, all
crit-
attacks against them have advantage.
Yeah, all attacks have advantage.
Alright, is that the end of your turn, or are you going to use any more movement, or...
I think I'll use the rest of my movement to hop on my elk.
Okay, and just like I explained to Liam, you know, that's how you...
Yeah, I'll highlight both of them. Yeah, that's it for me then.
Alright, let's see. To front. Boom. Okay, so you just click and drag and select both tokens.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I just want to hop on them in case I needed to run further. Yeah.
Alright, so we move to the first ambush drake, which moves up and snaps at Armathor. And it's a hit. It bites deep into the lion, into the lion's side, and Armathor roars in pain as we go to Nerissa.
Where? I don't think I'm receiving any more rolls. Let me just refresh.
Yeah, it's all right. You don't have to. It's because I messed up the rolls for the ambush drake. I need to fix that. But
Oh, okay.
it's basically whispering the rolls to me.
Well,
Actually, because you, I'm sorry, because you guys didn't see that, I'm just gonna roll it again. Okay, so he hits Armathor, and he takes 5 damage as his teeth bite deep into the lion. And we go to Nerissa.
Being at a disadvantage, not on a mount, she's still gonna run up to the family, and how far can she get to them in her turn? Like,
You can move 30 feet per turn, or you can dash and move twice that amount.
okay. So yeah, she's gonna dash, and she's going to, if she can, pick up 1 or 2 of the kids and help them along with the parents.
Okay, so you can pick up 2 children at once, although you
Okay.
can't carry anything else in your hands, and your movement speed will be cut to 20.
Okay. Yeah, and then with the remainder of what she has, she's gonna try her best to get them, like, back to Selene and the others as far as she can.
Okay, yeah, you can move them back. And actually, as you run forward, Lenin and her husband, they say, "Oh, thank you so much," and they move with you back to Selene and the others.
All right. So that's...
And the children in your arms, they're just crying. They're bawling their eyes out in blind terror.
She's just kind of absent-mindedly shushing them, but she's full-on running, with them, and she's like, "It's okay, stop crying, stop, shh, shh.
All
gonna
right,
be fine."
roll 1d2, Nerissa.
Oh, jeez. Hey.
All right, your curse doesn't manifest. All right, so you set the children down, or are you still holding on to them?
Oh yeah, she sets them down as soon as they're with the others, and she tells them, just run, go.
All right, we go to Liam.
I'm going to cast Ice Knife at this ambush drake.
Okay, that's a good spell, I think.
I don't think that hits, though.
No, it does not. The drake is very agile, and when it sees the knife coming that you cast, it agilely dodges out of the way. How does Liam react to this?
Well, so hit or miss, the shard then explodes.
Okay.
So
now, as soon as it explodes, I mean, the ambush drakes howl and they hiss, and the cultists cry out as they all have to make dex saving throws. What's the difficulty on that?
Oh, wait. Yeah, 13.
13? Okay, so one fails. Go ahead and roll... Actually, no, I'll do it. Actually, no. Go ahead and roll 2d6 for every damage you do. Go ahead and roll 2d6.
Okay. Plus 3 for the intelligence? Or is it just the 2d6?
No, just the 2d6, because the spell says take 2d6 cold damage.
There we go.
Alright, cultist is going to make saving throws. You hit 3 of them. Succeed, fail.
Okay. So
Roll 2d6. Alright, yeah, the one that's riding the ambush drake atop the one that attacked Armathor and the ambush drake next to him, they're embedded with shards of ice that explode from your spell. Camera focuses on Liam. Just let me know whenever you want to end your turn, so camera focuses to him.
Okay. Other than taking another step out into the street, that's pretty much all I was going to do. So I was just focusing on that spell, and yeah. So I'll just.
All right, from the back, one of the cultists surge forward and swings fanatically at Armathor. And you hear him scream out, "For Tiamat!" And he hits. As he buries the blade in Armathor's flesh, the lion roars as another cultist sprints forward to slash at him as well. And hits. Gets a minor hit on him as these swords begin chopping at him. One of the acolytes from the back moves forward and summons a flame to try and engulf the great lion. He's pitched in combat. Yeah, the great lion nimbly dodges out of the way as he says, "Akram Nate," and he throws a blast of fire which hits the ground and explodes. Another cultist runs forward and takes a swipe at him. And misses completely as the great cat is just too nimble as one of the cultists atop the drake slashes at him as well and misses, and the cultist atop the ambush drake cannot move because he is riding his ambush drake. As we go to Armathor, who barrels forward and launches his jaws into the ambush drake in front of him. And he hits. And the ambush drake squeals in agony and pain as those giant teeth sink into it. As the acolyte towards the back runs forward and also casts a blast of flame. Akram Nebul. And manages to hit the great lion with a minor blast of flame. As we go to Cassian.
Cassian sees this lion being assaulted on all sides as he kicks the horse. Yeah! And he runs forward. And he's charging directly at both of these cultists that are on the side of him. As he charges by, he's going to take a stab with his trident at the cultist on the ground.
That's a hit. You defeat him.
As he charges past him, he skewers this guy in the chest and actually picks him up a little bit before his body falls off of the end of his trident, and he moves forward to slash at the other cultist on the ground with his with the blade attached to his shield.
All right, go for it. Now you have a feat regarding mounted combat, right? What does that do for you?
It gives me advantage on all attacks on unmounted targets.
Okay, well you have advantage anyway.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll that damage. That's a hit. All right, you don't defeat him, but he is crippled. Go ahead, describe it.
He brings that sword down and catches him across the face. As his horse rears up and kicks its hooves at the ambush drake in front of them, he's looking back. Fight on! And he's continuing to swing and pull his trident around to impale more.
The two cultists from the back move forward. As everyone, you see Cassian, he just lays into them. He charges full bore on this horse at them and begins slashing into them as we move now to the ambush drake in front of you, Cassian. It's actually going to take a bite at your mount. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You can direct that bite at yourself, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, are you going to do so?
Yeah. To protect his mount, Cassian whips the reins around and jerks the horse's head to the side so that he's able to protect it with its shield.
All right, so this drake is going to have advantage on the attack because he has pack tactics. So he that would have been a botch for him, but it's not. But he still misses. Go ahead, describe it. As this thing snaps at you with giant jaws.
It goes for his horse, and he whips the horse's head around before he sticks his shield out to block it and pushes the teeth off of him, protecting both him and his mount.
The cultist from the back charges and tries to swing at Armathor and misses as the lion roars and rears back. Anwahin, it is your turn, and you see actually, to your amazement, all of you see the wounds actually closing up on Armathor as some of his wounds actually knit back together, almost by miraculous magic. He's not completely healed, but it's just like his wounds are healing.
All right, so I'm going to snap my fingers and throw a fireball or produce flame at this cultist right here. I actually have advantage, but I think I hit anyway.
All right, so you hit the cultist.
Roll again, dude. You could crit.
Oh, very true. Ooh, close.
Close.
All right, so you hit this cultist.
Yeah.
All right, you defeat him. Describe it.
All right, so I hop as I'm on this elk. I'm starting to charge sideways a little bit to gain some different distance, and I snap my fingers like usual and hurl this fireball in this guy, and it catches his clothing and begins to engulf his body in his flames. And he falls to the ground screaming, and then eventually the screaming stops.
Yeah, he shrieks and goes down, and you see thick clouds of black smoke billowing up as this ambush drake snaps at Armathor. He is going to get advantage due to pack tactics. And gets a horrible bite, crunching down on Armathor's leg as the lion roars in pain as we go to Nerissa.
All right, so she's going to charge if she can. Try and come to let's see. And yeah, if she can get within wrong thing. She can get within,
you can reach that cultist.
Yeah. And take a swing at him?
Yep, go for it.
Awesome.
You'll have advantage on the attack.
Okay. How do I plug that in?
Are you swinging with your scimitar or dagger?
Scimitar.
All right. That's a hit.
Okay.
And you will do sneak attack damage as well with that.
Awesome. Ooh. And sneak attack. Ooh.
You defeat him.
Nice.
Describe this glorious charge.
So yeah, with the family and their children safely out of the line of fire, she sees this great beast that has come to their aid, and she charges forward, swinging her scimitar, and she, with a very feminine roar, just kind of swipes at him and cleaves a broad stroke from his navel up to his neck.
Oh yeah, you open him up and he shrieks and goes down as we move to Liam. Liam, you see that this is a pitched battle. It is on.
Okay. If anyone's in earshot, they can hear me say, "Forgive me, lion." So I'm attacking that same ambush drake.
That's a hit.
Oh wow! All right.
Wow. Okay. 12 piercing to the. I mean, you almost.
So
That's devastates the ambush drake. Everyone within 5 feet of it. Let me see. Armathor has to make a dex saving throw.
yeah. So that.
Basically, everyone around. Yeah, that's.
So
okay,
so,
get
yeah,
ready to roll some damage.
The drake takes the 12, and then
everyone has to-
including the drake, takes 9 if they fail to. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll start with Armathor's saving throw, and it's 13, right?
Yeah.
He makes it.
Yes!
Yeah, quite easily, actually. This lion is big, but he is nimble. We're going to make 2 saving throws for the ambush drakes.
Please fail. Please. Damn.
Save. Cultist.
Yes.
Fail.
No, wait,
He's dead.
You just rolled initiative.
Oh, shit. Wrong button.
Oh, and I'll take it, but that'd be kind of cheating.
Yeah. Okay, we gotta make this fair. Dex save. He fails.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. He's dead. I mean, atop this, the cultist that's atop this drake, you just slam this dagger into this drake and actually kill his rider and almost kill this drake. I mean, he's grievously wounded.
I'm just picturing the ice knife going through the drake and then through the cultist that's riding him and then exploding.
And it actually kills another cultist. And the other one next to him barely gets out of the way in time. He, like, dives to the ground to try and get out of the way. As we move to the last one. Yep. Saving throw, and he fails. And he's dead as well.
That one.
As they... essentially, this explosion just... I mean, it just rocks all of them.
Did the rider of the other ambush drake dodge?
He is considered 10 feet away.
Oh, he is. Okay. I wasn't sure since he was riding, so...
You know what? I'm going to say, yeah, he has to make a saving throw. Because he is riding to a creature directly adjacent, and he makes it.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and describe this glorious spell, Liam.
So another sparkling arrowhead shoots out from Liam's hand, and like I was picturing it, it goes through the one drake and through the cultist that's riding him, and then just explodes into the sparkling shrapnel, and just jagged ice just shoots out into the surrounding area.
Seeing that the ambush drake is crippled, I mean, almost dead, but from this ice knife buried into its gut that it's just ripped through it, he begins chanting and moving his hands as he says, Akram Nekru, and runs forward to touch the ambush drake to surge a rush of healing through it. As we move to the cultist atop the dragon, he's in pitched combat with Cassian as he slashes viciously at the fighter and misses. Go ahead and describe it.
The horse is up, kicking its feet with the dragon, trying to get up and snap at him as both riders are fighting each other. As he slashes forward with the scimitar, Cassian's able to block it with the blade of his shield as he rears back on his horse.
Suddenly, the great lion surges forward in an attack, biting down on the ambush drake in front of him. And he misses, actually. He's wounded. I mean, on all sides, he's been getting stuck and dodging, and he surges forward and snaps. But the ambush drake is surprisingly agile. He suddenly pulls back.
You're accounting for the advantage, too, right? Sorry.
I'm sorry?
He has advantage. 12 doesn't hit, right?
Yeah, 12 doesn't hit.
Okay, yeah, just make sure.
The second acolyte rushes forward and steps over the body of one of the others, and he touches the ambushed Drake in front of him and begins chanting, Tiamat, Mother of Dragons, Kram Nekro. Almost completely healing the ambushed Drake as they both reach out and surge energy through it as we go to Cassian.
Cassian is rearing up on his horse before it touches down, and he's going to take his trident and stab it down into the top of the head of the ambush Drake in front of him.
All right, the cultist does not have rider combatant, so he can't direct this to himself, nor would he.
22.
That's a hit, man. Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't kill it, but that's a massive hit.
And as he skewers it in the head, he reels the horse around, and with his other dagger comes back around and attempts to stab it in the eye. His sword shield.
Crit.
10.
You defeat it. I mean, in a 1-2 combo, you slay this thing. Go ahead and describe it and make it glorious.
He's rearing with his horse, and as the Drake charges it up and goes to snap at both him and his mount, he stabs it underneath the jaw with his trident, and bringing his shield around, skewers it in the eye socket with his sword as he begins to twist before he pulls it out, exploding blood across the streets of Greenest.
The ambush Drake shrieks as you slay it with this trident and rear up on the horse to stab it in its eye, and his rider falls. I mean, he goes prone. He completely falls off of the ambush Drake. Ah! As that cultist is dead, this cultist is going to move forward and waiting on top of the bodies, slash at Armathor, shrieking and praising the mother as he keeps repeating over and over. And he gets a massive hit on Armathor, digging the sword deep into the lion, who roars in pain and anger. Bush Drake is dead, and he's dead. But nonetheless, the wounds begin to knit back together for Armathor as we go to Anwen.
All right, the one that just hit that big blow in Armathor, I have set sights on, and I snap my fingers and throw the ball of fire at him.
Oh, that's a hit all day long.
Sorry, I keep forgetting to turn on the advantage thing.
All right, you engulf him in flames. You don't defeat him, but you light him up as he... go ahead.
So, I was just saying, same as before, his clothes begin to catch fire, and I'm sure he starts screaming and trying to pat him out.
All right, the ambush Drake goes to snap at Armathor in a pitched, tangled battle with this lion, and hits, biting and deep into him. As you see, the great lion is falling. I mean, he's covered in wounds and breathing heavily as we go to Nerissa.
So taking advantage of the cultist's alarm as he's engulfed in flames, Nerissa's going to step atop the body of the recently slain one and try to strike this one down before he can pat himself down.
Oh, that's a hit. You defeated him. You don't even need to roll sneak attack.
Nice. So yeah, she sees this lion, being this close to him, seeing him roaring in pain. She kind of echoes his word with a no, and she just swings forward and cuts down the next cultist that is attempting to swing at him.
Armathor is breathing heavily and bleeding from dozens of wounds and bite marks and scratches. But as you stab into the cultist, the great lion actually looks at you and it rumbles in Elvish at you. Thank you, Liam.
The skeletal hand shoots out once again, targeting the ambush Drake.
Crit.
Nice.
Oh man, that's massive damage.
Oh shit.
You don't kill it, but almost.
But it also cannot receive any further healing until my next turn.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, nice.
All right. So as this it rocks over this ambush Drake. It gets it right in the face, and we see dead flesh, I mean tissue death, just race over this this drake creature, as the acolytes, they don't actually know that it can't receive healing, so they are eagerly trying to heal this drake, and it's just not working. He goes akram nakru, and he surges but the light just, it won't heal this dead tissue of this spell, and he's blasphemers. As we go, the cultist, who is now prone, but he stands up. He manages to get back on his feet and slash at Cassian. He charges him and misses.
Cassian is extremely skilled on the back of a horse. It's apparent to anyone who knows him, especially Liam. No one really knew he had this ability. And as this cultist goes up to slash at him, he quickly rounds around and forces the horse to kick up so that he's able to extend his shield down far enough to block it from striking his leg.
With the strike of the spell, Armathor seems to sense blood in the water as he goes to finish off this ambush drake in front of him. The great lion surges forward, and as he does so, he actually tackles the ambush drake, and it squeals and shrieks and kicks, its tail thrashing as the great lion actually pins it underneath him and rips its throat out in a just a spray of blood that washes in a geyser. The acolyte at the back, he backs away in fear, and he takes an instinctive step back, giving Armathor an attack of opportunity. And he's absolutely mauled as the lion slashes out with his claws and rips him open in the belly as the cultist steps back, and the acolyte steps back, and he begins chanting to try and heal himself, and only manages to stop his insides from being on the outside in time as we go to Cassian.
Cassian now pulls his mount around, and he brings it down straight onto the neck and shoulders of this cultist in front of him, skewering it with the 3 parts of his trident.
All right, go for it. That's a hit. Haven't defeated him, but it's a massive hit.
And as he pulls it out, he's gonna kick the horse forward so that he can bring his sword down and slash at him again.
Hit. You defeated him.
And the sword comes down and rakes straight across his face, almost cutting half of his head off, as Cassian begins to buck the horse forward, as it starts to step over the bodies of the cultists and the ambush drake.
With a new round, Armathor regenerates even more of his damage, and we go to Anwahin. As they've been routed.
Seeing these cultists start to run away, I'm going to charge in and flick my fingers and hurl a quick fireball at this retreating one.
It's a crit. You defeated him.
So I guess as he's starting to back away, and I quickly charge in and beam a fireball at him, and it hits him directly in the chest, burning his chest open, and he falls to the ground.
Yeah, he's consumed in flames, and he goes down shrieking. Tiamat will... as he falls and thrashes and dies. As the ambush drake is now dead, we go to Nerissa.
So there's really only one guy left, huh?
Yep, this acolyte. He's out of friends.
Yep. She's got her eyes dead set on him. I don't know if she can get to him with...
Yeah, you can get to him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's definitely gonna move in for the kill there. Oh no.
No, it's a hit. You got advantage.
Oh, nice.
Yep, he's dead. Go ahead and describe it.
So, as she looks across at this acolyte from the short distance between them, she charges forward, and she kind of has a, almost a sneer on her face, as if to ask him, where's your big dragon now? And she cuts him down without a second thought.
And with that, in the wake of this great battle, our heroes find themselves victorious as Armathor throws back his head and gives a triumphant roar to the sky. The camera pans around to see everyone's reaction.
Yeah, I look to my my old friend and give him a happy nod, being glad to see him once again.
And Nerissa is kind of roaring along with the line like, yeah! Yeah, we showed him!
I'm going to
Cassian
check... Oh, go ahead.
is... Oh, no, you go ahead.
I was going to check on the other cultist that's on the floating disc and the family that is behind us.
They're shaken, but safe and alive. Her husband is badly injured, but it looks like he'll live as long as he doesn't take any more hits.
And the cultist?
Out like a fat kid in dodgeball.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure he didn't, like, run away while we were preoccupied.
Yeah, no, he's out.
Cassian is up in the thick of all the dead bodies and the combat and the carnage as he kicks his horse. Yeah! And he raises his trident up. Victory! Clearly, something in this battle has stirred something deep inside Cassian.
And with that... Alright, so everybody leveled up. 375
Ooh.
experience. Everyone's level 2.
Yeah, sorry I jacked your mount, Liam. I just really wanted my mounted combat for that fight.
I was gonna say, totally worth it though. Holy shit.
Just going to say, you don't have to kick the horse quite so hard.
Just adrenaline. It's
I know.